Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Om 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 Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram.
जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम श्री राम स्वामी जी जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम
जय
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 जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam, Pranam. Before we take up sloga by sloga, once again we will have an overall picture, overview of this 18th chapter. This is the last chapter of the Bhagavat Geeta, which is the longest, as it explicates many subjects. It starts with Arjuna requesting Sri Krishna to educate him on renunciation and explain the difference between these two words, sannyasa and tyag, as both come from the root words that mean to abandon. A sannyasi is one who has renounced family and social life to practice sadhana, spiritual discipline. And a tyagi is one who acts without selfish desires for the rewards of his actions. However, Sri Krishna recommends another type of renunciation. He declares that one should never renounce the prescribed acts of duty, sacrifice, charity, penance, etc., yajna, dana, tapas, as these aid in the purification of even the wisest souls. One should, the final message is, one should undertake actions only as a matter of duty without any attachment to their fruits. Rest of things, if we keep on reading, we may forget, So many shlokas. So what is the take-home message for all of us? One should undertake actions only as a matter of duty, not to gain anything, without any attachment to their fruits. Sri Krishna gives Arjuna a detailed analysis of the five factors that contribute to action. He elaborately spends time on action because we are fully preoccupied with action right from the moment we get up in the morning till we retire to bed. So the refining our actions, that is the main clarion call of Bhagavat Geeta. Nobody can run away from the field of activities. This should be borne in mind. The body as well as the agent, the sense of individuality, the various senses, different functions of the manifold kind, and the presiding divinity, three constituents of action and three factors that inspire action: knowledge, object of knowledge, knower of the knowledge. Then instrument of action, act itself, and the doer. These are all, at the moment, it looks like academic, in what way it's going to help us. Each one has to think. These are, and these he described, this we have to understand. He described that each of these factors in relation to the three gunas. He declares that who see themselves as the only cause of their works are ignorant. That means if I take up the agency of action, I am doing, I am planning, I am working, I am thinking. So that it is because of the ignorance. However, due to their purified intellect, the enlightened do not perceive themselves to be the doer or the enjoyer. They are ever detached from the result, thus free from the karmic reactions of their action. This is another take-home message for all of us. First was, we have to do action without expecting anything in return, only as a duty. Second thing is, we keep on reminding ourselves we are not the doers. So we are ever detached from the results of the action and therefore free from the karmic wrangle. Sri Krishna then explains the reasons for the difference in the motives and actions of individuals. He describes the kinds of knowledge, types of action, categories of performers based on the three gunas or modes of nature. Then he gives a similar analysis for the intellect, resolve, or steadfast will and happiness. Elaborately he discusses. We will just have a quick go through. Further in this chapter, Sri Krishna portrays, this is very important, in detail the attributes of those who have attained perfection in spirituality and realized the Brahman. Because this we keep it as an ideal, the target to be reached, goal to be scaled. He adds that even these perfect yogis find engaging in bhakti transcendental to complete their Brahman realization. Thus he concludes that only through loving devotion one can unravel the secrets of the Supreme Divine Personality. Bhakti alone. He then reminds Arjuna that God dwells in the hearts of all living creatures and directs their movements according to their karmas. How do I exist? How do I carry on? Clear cut. God dwells in all our hearts and directs their movement according to their karmas. We must take his shelter, think of him, dedicate all our actions to him, and make him our ultimate goal. Then by his grace, we will easily overcome all difficulties and obstacles. However, if we get driven by pride and act according to our impulses, we will fail. To conclude, again, Sri Krishna reveals to Arjuna that this most confidential knowledge is to abandon all variations of religiosity and only surrender to God. The first is Vishada Yoga. Talk to us about the main hurdle, the me and mine. Now in the last, he says, abandon all variations of religiosity and surrender to God. However, he wants that you should share this knowledge only with the devoted, not with those who are not austere, for they may misinterpret this divine knowledge, misuse it to irresponsibly abandon all their actions. But expounding this confidential knowledge to the deserving souls is the highest act of love and is cherished by God himself. Jnanayatnas. Enlightened with this divine knowledge, Arjuna tells Sri Krishna that all his doubts and illusions have dispelled and he is ready to act as per his instructions. Sanjay, who has been narrating the sacred dialogue between Sri Krishna and Dhritarashtra and Arjuna to the blind king Dhritarashtra, is amazed and his hair stands on end with ecstasy. He conveys to the king the deep joy and bliss he is experiencing to recall their conversation and the memory of the divine cosmic form of the Supreme Lord. He concludes the Bhagavat Geeta, the divine song of God, with a profound pronouncement that victory, goodness, opulence and sovereignty will always rest on the side of God and his pure devotee. And the light of the absolute truth will defeat the darkness of falsehood and unrighteousness. This is how summing up, because it runs into 78 slokas. In one word, two words, how are we to understand? So first thing is, we cannot abandon Yagna, Dana, tapas. Yagna is giving back to the nature, Dana is giving back to the society, tapas is replenishing our body. Then, next one. We should not abandon any action, but only its fruits of action. And then, as we keep on doing, we will come to know that it is he who is behind everything, and slowly we try to reduce the dominance of me and mine. Thus, we know that behind every thought, every word, every act, his presence is there. Otherwise, it is not possible. So when we come to know that because of his presence only, this body, mind, intellect complex acts, any action done by this in sense of individuality will not bind us. We are prompted, we act, bas. It's an advanced stage, no doubt. But we will keep it as knowledge, and then try to implement it as much as possible in our life. And finally, total surrender. Vinobaji puts it like this, that we have to ultimately become zero. And there is Lord and Lord alone. That is the highest state of realization. Now, we will go by one line. The first, 2-3 days back, we covered up to the 10. Again, we will go through. First sloka, Arjuna wants to know more about sannyas and tyaga. In the second, renunciation of desired prompted action, sages understand that as sannyas, and the wise declare abandonment of fruits of action as tyaga. Renunciation of desired prompted actions, that renouncing those actions, that relates to sannyas. And abandonment of fruits of action is tyaga. Action has its limitation. The work of yajna, dana, tapas should not be relinquished. It should be performed. 3, 4 and 5 slokas. And 6th sloka, it should be performed renouncing attachments and the fruit of action. 7, renunciation of duties is not proper. Abandonment of the same from delusion is declared to be tamasic relinquishment. Whenever there is renunciation of duties is not proper, it is tamasic relinquishment. Outwardly we may feel renouncing. Niyatasya tu sannyasam karmano nopavidyade mohatasya parityaga tamasa parikirtita. Whatever we have to do, that we have to do. Under the banner of something, suppose we abandon, that is called tamasic. We should do. And then 11th, one who relinquishes the fruit of action is known as a tyagi. Number 12, threefold fruits of action. Again coming. Yes.
Swamiji, please go a little slow. I'm writing down.
So best way will be, even if we attempt this, we will forget what we have already heard because it is too lengthy. So every now and then we should know the cream of what has been discussed. That is why 1 to 10 suppose we take in one go. Sannyasa and tyaga, the differences. We should not abandon yajna, dana, tapas. If we renounce duties, just through duties without any background, it is tamasic renouncement. We have to do certain things, but under the pretext of some philosophy, we say, I don't want to do, I am not doing it. Then that is named as tamasic tyag. That means we have to do certain things. That is emphasized. There are duties to be performed at the physical level, at the mental level, at the social level, at the spiritual level. Each one will know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Duty of the parents, duty of the children, duty of the teacher, duty of the student, duty of the employer, duty of the employee, duty of a friend. Think about it. We should translate this into our day-to-day life, then only we will be able to understand. Then we should not neglect or abandon those duties, irrespective of the fact whether the other side acknowledges or appreciates. This is our duty. Our job is to discharge those duties, that's all, without any expectation. Even in profession, doctor's duty toward patient, patient's duty toward doctor, client's duty toward the lawyer, lawyer's duty toward the client. Suppose you are a chartered accountant. The chartered accountant's duty to his customer and the customer's duty towards chartered accountant. Like that, in everywhere, if we are conscious about this duty, we are just doing it as a duty, but that means we are trying to implement this. So duty is there at every level. Just think about it. So none of it are to be abandoned under any pretext. And so here Lord Krishna, when the question of abandonment comes, he categorizes as sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. So instead of going through all those words, let us understand this much. Because we should not shirk our responsibility. Be conscientious, dutiful. And then actions are purely based upon our own gunas, so it won't be uniformal. What has been brought forward, that will be the basis for our action. So if we understand this, we will not insist that whatever we do is right. That is how we take it. Everybody is free to interpret it in any way. But when we went through this, we take it that when I come to know that somebody is behaving, though for the purpose of vyavahara we may say this may be like this may be like that, but I should, in the heart of heart, I should know he or she is propelled by her own gunas. That is why she is doing or he is doing. And when we know that, we will not develop any prejudice against them. We will not get a biased view about them. Outwardly, we may have to say something for the sake of vyavahar, dharma. You should do like this. But at the same time, we may even be, suppose we are running an organization, even we may take disciplinary actions. But even then, in the heart of heart, he will know that the other party is doing it only because of the gunas. So that has been brought out here. Disagreeable, agreeable, all those things are anishtam, ishtam, mishram, cha trividam karmana phalam, bhavatya tyaginam pretya, nadu sannyasinam kvachit. In the 12th, he says, threefold fruits of action: disagreeable, agreeable, and mixed, accrues to non-renouncers after death, but never to the renouncer. When I renounce, this will not affect. Renounce the fruit of action, nothing will affect. So that is the message. The message is that the kartrutva bhava is withdrawn. I act because he prompts me to act. I act because he prompts me because of the duty bestowed upon me. I act because of the gunas I have brought forward. Live with that. And I also simultaneously develop that everything is being presided over by him, by him, by him, by him. So that though whatever actions that come through this equipment, it will not bind me, it will not carry any stain.
Swamiji, this is giving a real meaning of sannyasi.
Definition of sannyasi, real sannyasi.
Real sannyasi, I would say, somebody was asking this morning, then we said it can be interpreted in any way. But when we go through Papa's sannyas, it is simple. What did he say? Henceforth, this life will be totally consecrated to the meditation and service of Ram.
From what way?
So to us, sannyas means total consecration of our life in contemplating upon him inward and doing every service as to Ram himself, as to God himself. Outside the objects may be there, persons may be there, situation may be there, but to me it's all forms of God. I would not have realized, but I keep on reminding. To God I am doing. No, nothing more, nothing less, no prefix, no suffix. So, Papa, that first, and the second one, I should be free from all cravings. Cravings normally expressed through my sense organs when they come in contact with sense objects. And third one is, I will not hoard anything for myself. I will not save anything for myself. I will not keep anything for myself. I may keep for somebody else. An organization. Now in ashram, when people give love offerings, we have to receive it, keep it with us, pass it on to the office, put it in the bank, spend it whenever God sends his creation for taking it away.
Swamiji,
that is okay.
With this explanation that you have given, probably there is a new
explanation.
Way of seeing the interest of God.
New way of seeing interest of God.
So we try to understand. Sannyasa is in so many ways you can interpret the traditional form of sannyas. But here, in our case, it is very practical that we should be always trying to contemplate upon him and him only. He has the subtle and mysterious power, working in us, working in everybody. He is the life force, he is the awareness, he is the intelligence, he is love, he is compassion. With all these, we keep on thinking on the mental level, in the inward level. Outwardly, we do. Outwardly, we do everything without any condition, without any expectation, without any condition. And the second one is, we should be alert that none of the mind and the sense organs do not run after sense objects. When it is getting more and more riveted to God thought, automatically it will stop running towards the sense objects. Once in a way it may run because of its old habit. So immediately we try to get it back. And the third one is, I will not hold anything for myself. So sannyas can be understood like this. Free from attachment, free from possession, always dwelling on the indwelling and all-pervading reality, and whatever act that comes to our lot, we don't initiate any act. Whatever act that comes to our lot, We do it unconditionally, without any expectation of the fruit. This is how we learn from Papa about sannyas. No other condition. So initially you all know that he put on the ochre robe, changed his name to Das of that reality, Ram Das. And then when a stage came, that this was the ochre colored cloth was becoming an obstacle to have a comprehensive experience of the reality. He had no hesitation to remove it and started wearing the old white cloths again. Even the very sannyasa should not bind us. That is how he teaches us. Initially, the binding is necessary to free ourselves from various other bindings. But this binding also should go. So this is practical, and he has explained, bluntly he has explained why he removed, for comprehensive reality, because he prefers karma yoga to karma sannyas. Which we have elaborately discussed in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Karma yoga, preferring karma yoga to karma sannyas. That is why in the first vow he said, meditation and service of Ram. And we saw in their life that ashram, this area was a very backward area. People had no access towards school, treatment, job. So that is why the initiative came to set up a school, a hospital, and a vocational training center. Later it was all handed over. Possession is not there. That possessing capacity is not there. The possessing, what do you call, not capacity, the possessing tendency. At the same time, when he was addressed as Swami Ramdas, you all know Mataji did not change her clothes also. So everybody knew, they were out and out, 100% sannyasis, but at the same time, they were responding to the needs and suffering of the sections of the society in which they were living. So becoming sensitive to the demands and suffering of the people, unconditionally. Is that clear? Then we move to 8. Then action based on gunas. There he elaborately talks about on various aspects, 3 gunas, even happiness. He says, initially we take it as sweet, later on it is bitter. He says poison. Happiness which is like poison at first, but like nectar at the end, that is declared to be sattvic. Happiness which is like nectar first, but like poison at the end, that happiness is declared to be rajasic. Happiness which begins and ends in self-delusion, arising from sleep, indolence and miscomprehension, is declared to be tamasic. That means the warning is, we should not be simply guided by its outer appearance. Otherwise, why should we learn this? So when we run after the happiness, we should know whether it is counterproductive, in the sense whether it kindles in us a tendency to go after it again and again and again, no? And we become a slave to that. Addiction, everything, you know. Just think about it. So we should also know, when somebody says, this is very good, we have to analyze. That is why he has given all these. Happiness is also declared in 3. Happiness which makes us to feel dull. Happiness at the beginning, it may not be sweet, but at the end it becomes sweet. That means we have to struggle hard to get something, and then when we get it, you know, we distribute it to others. A sense of satisfaction remains with us. Like that, he keeps on dividing everything. Even the will, you know, the will to do, dhir, dhriti, you know, they say dhriti, fortitude. He has separated into 3. Fortitude, by which the function of the mind, prana and the senses are regulated, unswerving with yoga, that is sattvic. Well rooted. And then fortitude, by which man seeking a reward for his action with extreme fondness, earthly possession, worldly enjoyment, that is said to be rajasic. The fortitude by which a stupid person does not give up sleep, fear, grief, despondency and conceit, that is tamasic. So the will, how I use it. God has given us that fortitude, dhriti, happiness, and then he talks about knowledge. The intellect which knows the path of external work and inward meditation, right and wrong action, fear and fearlessness, bondage and liberation, that is sattvic. Intellect which has distorted apprehension of dharma and its opposites, and also right actions and its opposites, is rajasic. Intellect which developed in darkness regards adharma as dharma and view all things in perverted light is tamasic. And then, an agent who is free from attachment, non-egoistic, endued with fortitude and enthusiasm, unaffected in success and failure is called sattvic. One who is passionate, desirous of fruits of action, greedy, malignant, impure, easily elated, easily get dejected, such an agent is called rajasic. Unsteady, vulgar, arrogant, dishonest, malicious, indolent, desponding, procrastinating, such an agent is called tamasic. Then, an ordained action done without attachment, without love or hatred, not desirous of fruit, sattvic. Action desiring fruits for oneself with self-conceit, with much exhausting effect, rajasic. Action is declared to be tamasic, which is undertaken through delusion, without heed to consequence, loss of power and wealth, injury to others, beyond one's abilities, that is called tamasic. Jnana is explained also. That knowledge by which one is seen in all, that knowledge is sattvic. Knowledge which sees in all various entities of different kind, rajasic. While that which is confined to one single effect, as if it were the whole world, no? Without reason, without foundation, that is tamasic. Obligatory work when it is performed because it ought to be done, leaving attachment and fruit, that is regarded sattvic relinquishment. One who from fear of bodily trouble relinquishes action because it is painful, it is rajasic relinquishment. So like that he describes about knowledge, action and agent. So that is how he takes about 30-40 slokas. So if we start reading it, we may forget about the first part. So what is suggested is, each one may go through, each one is full of some clues for us. If somewhere some more light is to be thrown, then you may please ask. We will refer to the books and then share it with you. Because here, about 40 to 45 slokas, he puts this categorization. Just to make us know that all actions should not be abandoned. There should be some action which we should act. And that action should have this qualification. But at the same time, we should not fix our eye on the fruits of action. Every time we should try to keep on hammering to our brain that it is God who is behind everything. And then ultimately ensure that we do everything in a detached way so that there is no brought forward, karmic brought forward. And then finally we hand over everything to him. Everything, lock, stock and barrel. This is the cream of sum and substance of 18th chapter. Though apparently it starts with sannyasa and tyaga, touches upon the various facets of action, various facets of the sense of individuality, various facets of the gunas, various facets of the fortitude, knowledge, and then finally we come to realize that we actions that are for the benefit of others, it should never be abandoned and it should be free from expectation of fruits. Now we know why he started with sannyasa and tyaga. He made Arjuna to ask this question and then he gives out the answers not in one or two, but through 40, 50, 60 slokas. Because ultimately, from the battlefield standpoint, he has to be motivated to act. So again, he mentions in one of these slokas that even if you don't want to, 59 if you take, Yadahankaram ashritriya nayosya iti manyase mittesha vyavasayaste prakristvam niyoshati. Suppose you say, I will not fight. Even that is a delusion. Because it will not happen like that. Your own guna will prompt you to take to this. In clear cut, the English version, 54.
58, 11 years. 49. We told 52.
Swamiji?
1 minute. If filled with self-conceit, you think I will not fight. Vain is this resolve of yours. Your prakriti will constrain you. If you resort to your egoistic attitude and do not care for anybody's advice, and live with that attitude, if you think, I am not going to fight, that resolve of yours is in vain, because your very nature will make you fight. You have got that nature within you. That rajas will make you work. I have seen many people who have given up their family lives and have gone to the holy place. They built up a family in that place in no time. That rajas is there. What is the use of giving up this family? The wife tells the husband, you have to beg from many houses in that life of the recluse. You get it all in one house here. Perfectly right. That Rajasic samskara is there in you. You will create a samsara if you go even to the forest. Your samsara within projects and you create a samsara wherever you go. It is better to handle it here itself. And so Sri Krishna is telling, your own nature is very Rajasic, full of assertion, full of activity. Let us give an education to this nature. Work it out through good service to the people, service to the nation. That is the secret, correct way to work out all these Rajasic tendencies. So through all these slokas, he is conveying to us some practical hints. Out of impulse we may take a decision, but it will not. We find slowly we are getting back to it. We know that, Why is it that we have not been able to contemplate upon Ram Nam? Just think about it. He wanted us to chant the name with the feeling that we are chanting the name of one who is within me and who is making me to chant. It is simple instruction, Not at all a complicated in. He does not say any other prerequisite. But are we doing it? We want to do it. But our gunas, our prakriti will not agree. Immediately, the mind goes to something else. If at all we chant, it will be for our some benefit. I am restless, I am not well, I am upset, I am subjected to ups and downs, I need some relief, something like that. But the master says, you should chant with the feeling that you are chanting the name of one who is within you and who is making you to chant. So when we read these slokas, suddenly it comes to us, yes. Our mind is so vacillating, it does not get itself fixed in it. That is because I have been trying. For decades together I have been trying, you can say that. But we have not been able to. In 2 years they could scale the heights. (20 to 22), Papa could scale the heights. 28 to 30, Mataji could scale the heights.
Exclusivity is very important, Swami.
Exclusiveness. Okay. That is one of the reasons, The real reason is,
Real mind.
no, we have not shifted our priority. Not because we don't want to, because of our gunas. So that is why he makes us to go through this Bhagavat Geeta, and especially this particular 18th, because even in the Gunatraya 14, he has touched upon all these in a different way. But here, blunt, straight away he goes. Everything has been analyzed into 3. Suddenly we realize, that is why I am not in a position to. Though mentally, intellectually I feel I should do, I am unable to hold on to it. I know, but I don't know. I know, I don't want to. I want to, but I am unable to. These are all the ways in which the life has been going on. In the vision of God, Papa mentions about somebody telling Papa, how the act of charity gets diluted. He said morning walk when he was going, he saw a person begging. So he put his hand in the pocket to take some money. First, 1 rupee. 1 rupee is a big amount on those days. Very big amount. When we started earning, the meals was costing only 50 paise in 60s. So you can imagine Papa was quoting somewhere in the 30s, between 20 to 30 period. So 1 rupee is a big amount. So he put his hand to take 1 rupee. Then, he was thinking, if I give 1 rupee, so many people will be giving, so why should we give to 1 rupee? Half a rupee is enough. Then again, when he was about to take, how do we know that he is going to buy only this eatables? He may buy something which is bad for him. On those days, smoking was there, So again, it was reduced to 25 quarter anna. And by the time he himself confesses to Papa, by the time he took it was only 1 anna. And then gave it to him. So from 1 rupee means 16 annas. See, from 16 annas, by the time he gives, the mind starts telling, So initially, sattvic thought. But later on, it gets diluted. Think about it. Is it not happening to all of us? Initially, we feel like. But as we move towards the actuality, unknowingly, unwittingly, it gets diluted. We were giving some reason, Mind will give some reason why it has. So gunas, inherent gunas. This has been highlighted in this 18th chapter. Yes, we have shared, but for the sake of those who are hearing it for the first time, when devotees come, previously, I'm talking in early 90s, they will feel prompted to give a kit containing rice, dal, sugar, and Bengal gram, and everything will be packed. There is a shop nearby in Maungal. He will be informed. He keeps it here, makes it ready, and somehow the word gets spread. We don't have to do anything, and people will be there from ashram to the arch, more than arch. So this family, started giving one by one. After 10 or 15 minutes, somebody went and whispered to the person who is giving. The same people are coming in different form, that's all. They send their children, but ultimately it goes to the same house. Immediately, the person who is giving, because he is teaching us now what is sattvic dana. He says it is all right. So what? They want more, they are taking it. Directly if they come, only one kit they will get. They wanted more, that is why they are coming. Instead of finding fault and grumbling, and when you start thinking about it, all the negatives will come. You will use the word exploiting. So many words you will use, but to him, that is okay now. 5 kilos of rice, if it is 10 kilos of rice, it is not going to be wasted. It is going to be eaten away by them only. Probably they would have thought that I can get something more. If I go directly, I may not get it. So they have sent their children, that's all. And then he looked at the person who was commenting. If you are prompted to do something, do it, boss. Don't think about the pros and cons. Otherwise you will become a non-starter. Now when we go to the 18th chapter, it comes before us. He was sitting in Puja Swamiji's room, and one temple people came for some collection. Swamiji told them to come next day. So the wife of this particular person heard this, and she said, I would also like to give something. Tomorrow I will give. So this man immediately called his wife and said, if you want to give right now, because tomorrow you may change. She immediately went to the place and then brought back whatever she wanted to give, gave it to Swamiji. Sattvic, sattvic, sattvic. No prefix, no suffix. Others may say so many things. So we are trying to learn it from our experience, Otherwise it becomes textual. Please, we don't want that. We are neither experts. We don't know Sanskrit. We are neither experts in Shastras. We don't have any basic idea about Shastras. But we would like to eke out what is good for our daily life. And God has blessed us with so many such events, and it gets clarity when we read this, that's all. So in our life, what are we to now follow? This is how we have to follow. Immediately, if he has prompted you something, never think about anything, no fruit of action, just give. Don't give a lecture about fruit of action or abandoning action. Just act and stop. The 18th chapter is, the more we think about it on these lines, very, very powerful. Because that is the take-home message for our life. So he elaborately discusses about these different types of gunas, so that we come to the conclusion that the moment the prompting comes from him. He has given us a field to act. He is prompting from within. He has provided what is to be distributed. Just to do that job, but you are not giving anything. You are an instrument, conduit pipe. Yes, anything else? Tomorrow also we can touch upon something.
Tomorrow Satsang is there, Swamiji?
Tomorrow what is it?
Sunday.
Last Sunday?
We didn't have it because we were traveling.
Because I was traveling. Okay, we will have it on Monday. By that time you try to bring out something. And in 61 again he reminds, Ishvara sarvabhudanam hriddesharjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhudani yantrarudhani. Brahmayan, not Brahmayan. Brahmayan sarvabhudani yantrarudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord, O Arjuna, dwells in the hearts of all beings, causing all beings by his maya to revolve as if mounted on a machine. The beautiful teaching. There is a divine hidden in all of us. God in Vedanta is present in the hearts of all and not somewhere above in the sky. That very famous verse comes here. Something like this had come earlier also in chapters 7 and 9. Now he says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Arjuna, in the hearts of all beings, there is Ishvara, the supreme being. Sarva Bhutanam, of all beings, including the insects, the worms, the animals. In the heart of everyone there is the divine. They cannot understand this truth, but a human being can understand this truth and realize it. That is the difference between the human being and all other beings. God is present in the innermost recess of the human personality. When one becomes spiritual, one will be able to understand this truth. The second line says, Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yandrarudhani Maya. He causes by his Maya all beings to revolve as if mounted on a machine, Yantra. The divine is guiding all beings in their life and action, just like the bird kept in a machine, which is in rotation, and the bird also is in rotation. The bird has no say in the matter. The machine is making the bird go round and round. Similarly, in all our activities, we think that we are doing those works. Actually, there is a divine force behind all this. He makes us to do good, bad, and indifferent activities. The first teaching to be given to a human child is self-reliance. Have faith in yourself. Work out your own destiny. Work hard. It is a stress on puraskar or personal effort. We don't bring God into the picture at this stage. Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly said, I am the machine, thou art the operator. I do what you make me do. It's a very high stage of human spiritual awareness. Sri Ramakrishna used to sing a song, Tomar karma tumi koro. Oh mother, all works are done by you, but people say, I am doing all this work. Everything is he, not I. Thy will be done is the last music of the spiritual life of any human being. Thy will be done is the last music of the spiritual life of any human being. Complete surrender, which will come in the next few verses, is the consummation of all spiritual striving. Saint Paul said, not I, but the Christ that liveth in me. Everything is he and not I. When does it come? When the I has become sufficiently developed, chastened, then it understands this truth. Life's first stage is education for manliness and strength. At the highest stage, we understand the other truth, that it is all thou, not I, but thou. So this truth finds mention in the Gita here. Up till now, it did not come. In the 33rd verse of the 11th chapter, Sri Krishna told Arjuna, after showing his divine form, Tasmat tvam uttishta yasholabasva jitwan shatrun bhungshva rajyam samritam. Stand up, Arjuna, overcome your enemies, enjoy life in this beautiful country of yours. This was the language he used there. Now he is going to sing another tune. Not you, but the divine that is within you. As if one has no power or freedom at all. We have freedom, a limited freedom. Sri Ramakrishna tries to explain it with a beautiful illustration. A calf is tethered to a peg with a 30-foot rope. Now that calf has the freedom to graze all grass within the 30-foot radius. Absolute freedom is there, but beyond that it cannot go. Until the cowherd comes and lengthens the rope or changes the location. Similarly, all of us have freedom, a limited freedom. Beyond that we have no freedom. Only the power behind the universe, God himself, changes the position and all these measures of freedom. So that is the truth that slowly shines on thinking minds. There is some power behind this personality and this objective universe. This is the understanding Arjuna is being given just now. Now we are coming to the consummation of this teaching, that manliness and strength, courage and character efficiency, all these will lead to a profound experience, complete self-surrender. That is a tremendous experience. In Sanskrit we call it Sharanagati. Not I, but thou. Thou alone art. I am just your child, nothing else. We become like a child before the divine. After all, what can a child do in the house? Only the parents can do for the child. That is how Tennyson sang about the mystery of life. So in this, whenever you go through any particular stanza, and some more we have to, we will go through the different versions of saints. We will tally with whatever experiences he has given, whatever he has made us to observe, then try to understand the import of that sloka. Because otherwise, it should not slip into academic exercise. We don't want to memorize many things, but we want to refine our personality. Time is running out. We don't know when the call will come. So before the call comes, we must present to him a wonderful, pure BMI. A purified personality should be handed over to him. Then only I will become his. Otherwise, again I have to go through, depending upon the impure aspect in me. So before I quit, before he calls me, I should make this BMI equipment pure, like a flute which is hollow. Papa talks about that flute, The flute, when it is hollow, only when it is given to the Lord, the music comes out. If it has got anything in between, the music will not come out. So we have to become hollow. We have to become pure. That is our intention. We have no other intention. And action we cannot avoid. So we will try to purify the action as much as possible. Reducing or making it nil, which one? The expectation of the fruit. But at the same time, we continue to act with the feeling that he is making me to act. So these are all the things, points that is coming again and again and again in this 18th chapter. So let us try to get the essence of it. Hariyo, yes?
In Quest of God, Swamiji, Papa, when he goes to the jungle, he says that I don't have to fear anybody because Ram is everywhere. So from whom whom should I fear?
Whom should I?
Fear.
Fear, correct. Because he is constantly aware of the presence, He is constantly aware of the presence. When he is constantly aware of the presence, the onus of taking care of the body is on him. Now we assume, we say we are fearful because we assume we have to take care of the body. That is an advanced stage. So via media stage is we avoid such other thing that disturbs us and then try to contemplate upon him. And then try to see that you are also in the snake, you are also in the scorpion, you are also in the wild bear. Then we probably, if he wills that we should reach that stage, we will also reach that fearlessness stage. Fearlessness comes only when we identify this common denominator in everybody. When we see the otherness, naturally fear will come. 18th chapter gives a lot of these ideas. Because about 30, 40 or 50 slokas, he is again going through and categorizes. But in that process, he is testing us, whether you get stuck there or whether when you come out of it, what is it that will help me to lead a contented life, fulfilled life. So the message is, I must be able to surrender everything to him. Act I should, but not to the fruits of action. Act I should, feeling that he is making me to act. Just like Papa says, he is making you to chant the Ram Nam, he is making me to act. So kindly elevate me to that stage where the sense of agency is completely absent. Yandra Rudhani, Ishvara.
Swamiji, here in this chapter it says verse 46 to 49
46
covers,
ah,
46 to 49.
covers spiritual discipline of
Ah.
karma action.
ah,
Verse 50 to 53 point to Jnana Yoga.
ah,
And verse 54 to 55
Ah.
Bhakti Yoga.
ah,
56 to 58 refer to meditation.
yeah.
So can we go through it one time, Swamiji, another day?
Okay, okay. This 51, 52, 53.
50 to 53 is
Yeah,
Jnana
correct.
Yoga.
Yeah.
54 and 55 to Bhakti Yoga. 56 to 58 to meditation. Before 60. So 50.
Elaborately he has discussed. Elaborately. Monday we can take up.
Yes.
Monday we can take up. 50 to 50, from 50 onwards, yes. We can segregate that also, yes. If that is going to help us, sure.
50 to 58.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om. Pranam.